are on to Hope.
Okay, so as you're starting this new series, I was just wondering like where you got your inspiration for this new series or something about the series that inspired you to write it, to do what you're doing on this particular series.
Well, what started, well, there's two things. I wrote, is it two series about FBI profilers. They're behavioral analysts, not profilers, but anyway. And I have a wonderful lady who's a retired BAU special agent who helped me through all of them, beginning with Mind Games. Of course, Mind Games, after I showed it to her, I had to completely rewrite it. That wasn't fun. But anyway, it's great and I love it. But the FBI is so specialized that, I mean, there's an acronym for everything, all these different departments, all this kind of stuff. And it can be kind of draining when you're trying to make sure everything is right. So I decided I wanted to take my agents out of the FBI and have them become private investigators. That way I would have the background, but I'd have more leniency and more freedom in what I could do with them. I'm not so bound by FBI protocol. So there was that. And I had to have a good reason for them to leave the FBI. So I had the Salt River Strangler, who liked to get women and put them in trunks and throw them into the Salt River. So he lured my two main characters, River Ryland and Tony St. Clair, to along the side of the river and shot Tony and put her in a trunk. Someone rescued her, but she has PTSD, and so that's the reason she left the FBI. So that started that story with them, the journey with River and Tony. And then also Karen Ball, you know Karen Ball, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
She had a post on her Facebook page about synesthesia. I hope I'm saying that right. And I thought it sounded kind of interesting, so I looked it up. She used the condition in a book that she wrote. And I looked it up, and it is a condition where a person's senses are confused. So, I mean, just totally confused. Like they might see a food, and rather than smell the food, they might see a color, or they might see a word and smell an aroma.
James Hannibal has that, actually.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
James Hannibal, he has that.
Oh,
yeah.
did he?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that. So I decided I wanted to use the condition, but I used it on my bad guy. So every time he thinks someone disrespects him because he's different and he sees red, to him, that is a sign that he has to kill that person. And so anyway, I just, those ideas and the condition, that's what started the whole series.
I like
That's
it.
so interesting.
That's interesting.
It's a different place. I like that. Yeah, that's cool.
And our final question from the evening comes from Darlene.
Congratulations, Nancy. I can't read.
Thank you.
Can't wait to read it. I was just looking at it here on my screen. Yeah, I got it. Okay, so can you tell us something about yourself that we can't find anywhere on the internet?
When I saw that question, I thought, oh no.
Tell us your secrets.
My secrets. I wish I had some. I wish I was more interesting. But I thought of three things, okay? I modeled a swimsuit for Macy's when I was 7 years old. You'll never find that on the internet. I did a terrible job. I embarrassed my parents because I froze on the runway. So that was my modeling career, just went bye-bye. I used to do book reviews on a morning TV show in Wichita. Oh, wow. Yeah, so I got to do that for quite some time. That was interesting and a little scary. And I did help catch a couple of murderers.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
I like the third one the best.
That's the most interesting, isn't it?
More.
What happened is I had a friend in Wichita. She and her husband they're not landlords, but managers of an apartment complex. And the lady that owned the complex was in one of the prestigious families in Wichita, and she was murdered. And she was getting ready, or I'm sorry, she called me one day and she was telling me about this couple that lived in their complex that was moving out. And they had their U-Haul out in front of the place and they're getting ready to leave. And I said, Pam, don't let them go. Call the police right now. And she was like, what are you talking about? I'm not going to go. I said, call the police now. And she finally did after her husband said, well, if Nancy said to do it, go ahead and do it. So she called the police and they got there and they searched the U-Haul and found the murder weapon and arrested them. And they should still be in prison. So that was pretty,
wow.
yeah,
Wow.
a sad thing, but it was neat that I got a chance to do that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
I'd have to say that's the most interesting thing I've heard from that question, Darlene.
Yes.
So you didn't like the modeling the swimsuit thing? That wasn't as
They were all fine, but that one was just,
okay.
that one was perfect for our little group here.
Yes.
Oh,
since
good.
we're all
Okay.
suspense people, yes.
There you go.
Well, Nancy, it has been so much fun chatting with you tonight. I'm really looking forward to this book. I think that I'm going to have to pre-order it. You said July 11th?
July 11th, that's right.
Okay, so it'll be in stores on July 11th. Out of curiosity, is it coming out in ebook, print, and audio?
Yes, all three.